Today is a good day, the sun is shining, we're driving the R34 up to the unit, and we're going to crack on with the RB conversion in the 180SX, which will be awesome. So get that thing in and on the ramp. It's quite cool driving an R34 Skyline up to the unit to go work on a 180SX where you put a Skyline engine in it. It's a good day. Right, today is the day to rip the guts out of my lovely 180SX. This is the SR20DE coupled to an auto gearbox. That's the one everyone wants. So we've got a nice RB going in. We've got this one here. Let me see. This one here is going into it. Ignore that one there with the trumpets. So there's a few more things to do on that before it goes in, but there's naked ladies in the background. First thing to do is to rip all of this out. So very few bits of this we'll be keeping, maybe the fuse boxes and stuff. We're taking the ABS out, probably changing the master cylinder. We'll obviously tidy up the engine bay while it's all out and get everything nice and clean. Ignore the rust on the top struts. That will be sorted another time, but the main thing is to get this in and get it running first of all. First thing to do is the sort of stuff you do before you take it apart. So we're going to take the fuel pump relay out, we're going to crank it and run it until it dies to relieve any fuel pressure. Then it's fluids out, so coolant, engine oil, power steering fluid and gearbox oil, all has to come out. And then it's disconnect everything and drop the engine out. So while I'm waiting on that to drain everything out fluid-wise, we've got the oil cooler for the automatic transmission and the coolant itself coming out there. A whole lot of things on the underside to take off. So starting with the exhaust, we'll take off this front section here. Also on both sides we're going to take off the anti-roll bar, the track rod end here, and also going to disconnect the lower control arm as well, and we'll just take those things off, push the lower control arm out the way because we don't really need to mess around with that, but that then will leave us the subframe disconnected. Also going to take off the automatic shifter adjuster here, just a pin there, pull that out, and that will then leave us with pretty much everything. Oh, and the diff. And the diff here, we'll just disconnect this here and break that apart. It will come out here, but I'd like to keep that in as much as possible and keep some fluid in there. Once that's then all disconnected, what I'm going to do is disconnect all the stuff at the top. Then that will allow me to drop the whole engine and subframe and gearbox onto some axle stands, so I can just drop the ramp down, take off the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bolts that hold everything major in place, and then lift the ramp up, and in theory the engine and box will stay where it is and the car will go up.
A few moments later.
So that's everything disconnected from the underside. So let's bring this thing down to a nice working level so we can get into the engine bay and start taking out stuff from there. So I'm going to start by making some room, so battery out, all this intake airbox part out, and we'll also get the radiator out as well, so that should clear a load of room around here to be able to see what we're doing. So after about 20 minutes of work, we've cleared all of the front area to create some room. So we've got the battery out, we've got the fan and the radiator out on there. I've left the air conditioning system in because I want to try and keep that all in and gassed while we do this conversion. My only worry is that where the air conditioning condenser sits is going to be further forwards than the other one, and so we might have to change this pipe, and that'll undo that hard work anyway, but let's see if we can give it a go. So the next thing to do is to clear the sides. So we're going to clear anything that's connected on this side. You can see I've already started with the power steering reservoir, and anything that's connected on this side to the engine. Makes it a little bit easier because it's a DE engine, there's less wires running up to it. And then once we've done that, it should be a case of unbolting the bottom parts, and away we go. So another 20-25 minutes has gone by, and I've cleared all the wiring off of the injectors, we've cleared the fuel lines, the wiring that came around for the TPS and for the distributor. Any of the little bits that were down this side, done as well. Electric plug at the back as well. A couple more things I need to get under and do. One, I didn't undo the steering rack, so that needs to be undone at the rack. And that can just slide out. And the other is to have a go at this air conditioning condenser and anywhere else that this AC lines are attached to the subframe. I think there's another mounting down there somewhere. So I'll get it back up in the air and have a look at those. Okay, so possibly everything is disconnected, we hope.
I'm not sure what to do with my hand.
It'd be good just to hold them down by your side.
I have whacked some axle stands underneath here to hold the subframe and the back of the gearbox. So all that should be left to do is undo the subframe bolts this side, undo the two the other side, undo the ones on the gearbox frame, and then lift the engine out. A couple of snags I think there might be. One is the steering rack. I've undone it, but it might take a bit of a twist to get that to actually come out. And any extra wiring that runs down to the gearbox, there'll be a bit of leeway in that wiring so we can pull it out and see where it's snagging.
At first I said that I love you and you ain't say that shit back. It's kinda hard to just trust you when both your feelings don't match. Got me showing less emotions, I don't wanna get attached. Once I give you my word, I swear it ain't no going back. Once I give you my heart, you better keep that shit intact. Instead of assuming no words, girl, I'm just here stating facts. You want me to take you back, I want you to take me back.
That's like a rotary, that's how low a rotary is.
You want me to take you back, I want you to take me back. So tell me, is you gon' ride out when the chips fall? I seen too many people leave when it get hot. I'm tired of going back and forth when we pissed off. Most of my friends done went through it and they stood tall. See, they gon' try and tell you what they think is good for you. Whole time they
This big old hunk of metal is out of the car. So you can see the SR is sitting down on these axle stands. I've moved it about a bit just so I can get the gearbox off to make it easier to move, and I've just whacked an RB subframe on here just so we can keep it a rolling shell because I want to take it out and give it a good clean in the engine bay. Look at this. Look at this grime from what, 97. When were you born? 96. 96. How old are you? 23. It's a 22-year-old griminess car. Nice. 22 years worth of grime to get all off of here, plus a whole lot of stuff we don't need. And we've also got to put an extra pedal in here because we're going to need a clutch pedal. Probably change the brake pedal and cylinder as well, possibly for uprated one. Definitely going to have to change the brakes because it's going to be about twice the power. I'm thinking I probably have to change the spring rate on the coilovers as well, and I'm wondering if I can use the springs that I took off the Skyline because it's the same make coilover. And that's got an RB engine in, so theoretically they should be the right spring rate for it. So we'll have a look at that as well when we've got everything off, but that's further down the line. Now, break that thing apart, get this thing on its wheels and clean up that engine bay.
And I wish they was for you. You gotta watch your back, your front, your side, they disloyal. I gotta watch my crown, cause from birth I've been royal. And that's from the soil. Yo. Two strong-minded individuals. What happen when y'all both reach the pinnacle? Things start to get physical. What make it worse, the motherfucker live with you, talking what you didn't do and what they did for you. You just praying for a miracle, cause they been with you through the good and the bad times, made it pivotal.
So next thing to do is to pop the shifter itself out. This isn't attached to anything now, so we disconnect it to the bottom. And if you've ever had a Nissan, it's nice and simple. You literally just pull out stuff and it comes away, so not a lot holding this in place, although usually because you haven't got this here you can get your hands in the shifter boot and pull that out. So I was hoping it was like the manual ones where you can just take this cover off and you can get to everything in there, but we actually need to get right down the back here. So this middle center section needs to come off. It's not too bad, it's just 6 screws and a couple of clips and we can take the whole unit out.
Feelings that you hold inside, it will hinder you, so let it go. What you didn't do, what they did for you. You just praying for a miracle, cause they been with you. Through the good and the bad times, made it pivotal. All the feelings that you hold inside, it will hinder you, so at first I said that I love you and you ain't say that shit back. It's kinda hard to just trust you when both your feelings don't match. Got me showing less emotions, I don't wanna get attached. Once I give you my word, I swear it ain't no going back. Once I gave you my heart, you better keep that shit intact. Instead of assuming no word.
The great thing with this center console part, as opposed to what I had to do in the R34, which is buy a whole new piece, this section just 4 screws and it comes straight out. We can actually utilise this bit here. I might trim it a bit down the sides here and use that to hold the gear gaiter for the shifter, which would be perfect. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. In the next one we're going to be fitting the GK Tech ABS removal kit, plus a few other bits as well, so stay tuned for that one. Then after that we're going to be fitting up the RB to the subframe and the gearbox and everything, and getting that all mounted, and then finally we'll be getting that in the car as well. Whole load of wiring stuff for me to sort out, and what I want to do with the engine bay in terms of clearing any wiring out of there, maybe moving fuse boxes and things, but for now, I'll catch you later.
Ride out when the chips fall. I seen too many people leave when it get hot. I'm tired of going back and forth when we pissed off. Most of my friends done went through it and they stood tall. See, they gon' try and tell you what they think is good for you. Whole time they was plotting, man, I wish they was for you. You gotta watch your back, your front, your side, they disloyal. I gotta watch my crown, cause from birth I've been royal, and that's from the soil.